I'm here with Deepak Chopra, and we are all very excited because he's coming out with a new book, and we all love his books, and it is called Super Genes, and he's written it with Rudy Tanzi, who's brilliant, just like he is. And we're going to ask Deepak a few questions about this new book because it is very interesting what he has to say about our genes. What is a super gene? Because I want super genes, everyone's going to want super genes, so tell us what a super gene is.
In order to understand what super genes are, you have to understand what a gene is. Mm-hmm. And it's not this thing that I'm wearing.
Right.
That's spelled a little differently. J-E-A-N, and this is G-E-N-E. So when you start life out, you are a double-stranded DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. That's the letters that make up our life. So in the English language, you have 27 letters. The letters of life have only 4 letters, A, T, C, and G, which stand for certain things, bases. We don't need to go into that, but everything that exists, whether it's a mosquito or a butterfly or a dinosaur in the past or a reptile or a banana, that is made of 4 letters. So the difference between you and a banana and a monkey and a rat is just how those letters are arranged. So when you arrange letters, what you get are words. You know, in the English language, as I said, we have thousands of words based on 27 letters. But in the alphabet of life, you have tens of thousands of genes that create all of life in just 4 letters. Okay, so a gene is like a word. Your body is not a word, your body is not a sentence, it's not a paragraph, it's a story. And so who writes the story? This story is written through this double-stranded DNA in a human body that's 23,000 genes. Now, potatoes have more genes than you and I.
Wow.
65% of our genes are the same as a banana. 80% of our genes are the same as a mouse. 99.4% of our genes are the same as a monkey. So what's the difference? The difference is not the words, not the letters, but how they're arranged into a story. The human story,
wow.
The chimpanzee story, the bird story. That's the genes. But now we have a new entity in our understanding of the human body. For every single gene you have 10 times as many bacterial genes. These bacterial genes are called microbiome. And so this microbiome is all the bacteria in your gut, in your skin, in your eyes, in your tongue, everywhere. When a baby is born, it doesn't have this. But as it comes through the birth canal, it actually inhales and swallows the secretions of the mother.
Right.
And this becomes the microbiome. So these days when a baby is born through cesarean section, they actually immediately take the baby and they take all the secretions of the mother from her vagina, from everywhere, and they smear the baby's body and also put it in the mouth to impregnate the baby with the microbiome. I said 10 times as many bacterial cells, but 150 times as many bacterial genes in your body. 150 times more bacterial. So what you and I are is a few human cells hanging on to a bacterial colony. And what are these bacteria? These bacteria are the entire ecosystem of our planet. The earth, the waters, the rivers, the atmosphere, everything. That's the second part of what makes up our body. And the third part now is referred to as the epigenome. So right above the gene, and all this, by the way, is in this little cell inside the nucleus, which you can't even see unless you have a high-powered microscope. So the third part of our inner cell is what is called the epigenome. And these are proteins outside the gene, but in the cell, in the nucleus. And these are proteins that respond to every experience. So every emotion, every thought, what you ate, how you slept, are you stressed, your relationships. Super gene is the integration of your gene, your microbiome, and your epigenome. All these three. So
it's like a perfect storm coming together.
It's a perfect integration.
So they come together.
They come together to create who you are. But now we know that every experience, so people who are watching us now, their genes in their prefrontal cortex of the brain, they're changing. Not changing in that the words are changing, but which words are being expressed are changing. So they're actually rewiring their frontal cortex. But what happens in the brain happens in the body. What happens in the body happens in our relationships. So super genes is how to optimize the functioning of this integrated system of your genes, your epigenes, epigenome, and your microbiome. So you can not only live a life that is physically empowering and energetic, emotionally fulfilling, spiritually fulfilling, but even more, we now have evidence, and we've been doing this research at our center, that you can change the genomic activity in a way that extends your lifespan. So we feel, based on in the research we've been doing, is that the human lifespan could be extended by 30 years, but in good health. You know, people don't die of old age. People die of some disease or the other, diabetes or
their
heart
body
disease.
shuts down, right?
Yeah,
Their
because
organs,
of some disease. So nobody these days is dying of in their sleep or in meditation, or just because they've had a good life and it's time to recycle. They are dying of diseases. What if we could eliminate these diseases? Our data shows convincingly that only 5% of disease-related gene mutations, and what's a mutation? It's like a spelling mistake it's a typo in the alphabet, in the word. So only 5% of those typos or gene mutations that are associated with diseases are fully predictable, which means we don't know how to yet correct them. But 95% of them we control through our consciousness, which means our choices, our thoughts, our emotions, our relationships, the quality of our sleep, the quality of the food we eat, all of that is constantly actually influencing our gene activity.